God damn it. What the hell do you think you're doing? Filthy. Disgusting. That's something you don't touch. You serve it. You watch it. But you don't ever hold it. Nathaniel Blake's voice cut like broken glass. He stormed into the room, yanked the baby girl from Maya Williams' arms with a force that made her breath catch. No, please, she just fell asleep. She wouldn't stop crying. I don't care, he barked. You're the maid, not the mother, not anything. The baby screamed the moment she left Maya's chest. It was like something snapped. Her tiny hands clawed at the air, her sobs shrill and panicked. Shh, Lily, shh, it's okay, sweetheart. I'm here, Nathaniel whispered. But the child only cried harder, writhing in his arms, red-faced and gasping. Why won't she stop? Maya stood frozen, heart pounding. I tried everything, she said quietly. She only sleeps if I hold her. That's all. He didn't answer, just stood there with his daughter crying louder by the second. Give her back to me, Maya said, voice low, firm. His jaw tightened. I said give her back. She's scared. You're scaring her. Nathaniel looked down at the child, then at Maya. His eyes were ice, but underneath something else. Confusion, hesitation, and then defeat. He handed Lily back. The baby curled into Maya's chest instantly, like her body remembered safety. The crying stopped in less than 30 seconds. Only a few hiccuping sobs remained as she drifted back into fragile sleep. Maya held her close, sitting back onto the rug, rocking gently, murmuring without thinking. I got you, little one. Nathaniel stood still, silent, watching. That night, no one spoke again, but the house felt colder. Maya laid Lily down gently in her crib hours later. She didn't sleep at all. By morning, Mrs. Delaney found her sitting in the corner of the nursery, eyes wide, hands still trembling. She only sleeps with her, the older woman whispered under her breath, glancing toward the now peaceful baby. Nathaniel said nothing at breakfast. His tie was crooked, his coffee untouched. The second night, Maya tucked Lily in and stepped away. The baby screamed. Mrs. Delaney rushed in. Nathaniel tried. Neither worked. Only when Maya returned, arms outstretched, whispering gently, did Lily quiet. The third night, Nathaniel waited outside the nursery door. He didn't enter. He listened. No crying, only a quiet lullaby, half-hummed. He knocked. Maya. She opened the door. I need to speak with you. She stepped outside, closing the door gently behind her. I owe you an apology, Nathaniel said. Silence. For what? Maya asked. Not soft, not angry, just steady. For how I spoke to you. For what I said. It was cruel and wrong. She nodded. Lily knows what's real, she said. She doesn't care about wealth or titles. She just needs warmth. I know. She won't sleep unless she feels safe. I know, he said again. And I don't think she's the only one. Nathaniel looked down. I'm sorry, Maya. A beat of silence. I'm not going to quit, she said. Not because of you, but because she needs me. I hope you stay, he said. For her, Maya repeated. But in her chest, something shook loose. Something she thought had been locked away for good. She didn't trust him, but Lily did. And for now, that was enough. The next morning, Maya Williams moved through the house like a shadow. The dining room table gleamed, polished to perfection. The smell of fresh coffee lingered in the air. But neither Nathaniel Blake nor Mrs. Delaney said a word as Maya passed by with a folded blanket in her arms. Good morning, Maya said calmly, eyes forward. Mrs. Delaney nodded stiffly. Nathaniel looked up from his tablet, his jaw tight, but said nothing. It didn't matter. Maya wasn't expecting kindness. She wasn't here for it. She was here for the baby. Upstairs, in the quiet nursery, Lily was finally sleeping soundly, arms stretched above her head, a soft sigh in her chest. Maya sat beside the crib, not touching, just watching. Like always, like before, the events of the previous night still burned behind her eyes, but she kept her spine straight. That scene, his words, his tone, the way he tore the baby from her arms, those things weren't new to her. Maybe not in volume or sharpness, but in meaning. She'd been told her whole life she wasn't meant to hold, only to serve. But Lily knew different. Lily clung to her like she'd been waiting for Maya her whole life. Maya? It was Rosa, peeking into the nursery. Hey, Maya whispered. She's asleep. Rosa stepped in quietly. She sat on the edge of the chair next to Maya and whispered, I heard what happened last night. I bet the whole house did. He's not used to people, Rosa said. Not since Claire. I'm not here for him. I know, Rosa said softly. But you need to be careful. Men like Nathaniel, when they feel something, they push harder. They don't know how to ask. They just react. Maya's eyes stayed on Lily. She's the only one who didn't look at me like I was dirt. Rosa touched her shoulder. You're not dirt, honey. You're the only reason this house is holding together right now, even if he doesn't see it yet. If you felt touched by Maya's quiet strength, give this video a like and tell us where you're watching from. You might be surprised who else near you is watching too. Later that day, while folding towels in the laundry room, Maya heard Nathaniel's voice on the phone. I told you I'm not interested in dinner meetings right now. A pause. No, Jennifer. I don't care if she's in town. We're not getting back together. Another pause. Then, because I have a daughter who cries through the night unless a stranger holds her, and I can't even look that stranger in the eye because I've treated her like trash. Maya stood frozen behind the half-closed door. Nathaniel's voice dropped to a near whisper. She's not just the help. I see that now. But I don't know how to fix what I said. The door creaked. Maya turned. He saw her. There was a beat of silence. Then he hung up the call without a word. Eavesdropping? He asked, voice stiff. Laundry, Maya replied evenly. He exhaled. You weren't supposed to hear that. No one's ever supposed to hear anything in this house, she said. It's made of silence. He rubbed the back of his neck. I meant what I said. Last night, this morning, I was wrong. You were cruel. I know. And that baby, your baby, she knows who's gentle. He nodded. I'd like to start over, he said. She didn't answer. Instead, Maya went upstairs, rocked Lily in her arms, and hummed the lullaby she hadn't sung in years. That evening, while Maya sewed a torn seam on a couch pillow, Mrs. Delaney approached her. You're not like the others. Maya didn't look up. What others? The ones who come here for the money, or the prestige. They last 2 weeks, maybe 3, then they're gone. But you, she paused, she only sleeps in your arms. She's just a baby. She's not just a baby. She's a mirror, Mrs. Delaney said. And she sees who you are. Maya looked up finally. Who am I then? Mrs. Delaney gave a thin smile. Someone who deserves to stay. The words hit harder than Maya expected. She looked back at the pillow and stitched in silence. 2 days later, as snow fell steadily outside, Nathaniel asked Maya to come to his office. She entered cautiously. The office was clean, clinical modern desk, wall-mounted screens, chrome bookshelves. I want to show you something, he said. On the screen, a wireframe of an app, bright colors, icons, labels, a tab that read, Single Mom Support. What is this? My next project, a digital hub for single mothers, resources, legal aid, childcare options. I started it after Claire left, but the team, most of them are men. They don't understand what's really needed. Maya crossed her arms. And you think I do? He looked at her directly. I think you understand what it's like to be left behind, and I think that makes you the most qualified person in this house. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she said, I'm not a tech expert. I don't need one, he replied. I need someone who knows what it feels like to matter too late. That night, Maya lay awake in her room. The snow kept falling. She remembered her foster homes, the basement in the Bronx, the clients who never said thank you, the men who shouted and the women who looked the other way. And now, here she was being asked not to sweep the floor, but to build something real. She turned toward the crib, where Lily was sleeping in a room just down the hall. For the first time in a long time, Maya let herself feel the possibility of a future. Not one where she escaped, but one where she stayed. For her, and for the little girl who only slept when Maya was near. 3 days later, Maya stood in front of the massive oak door of Nathaniel's study, heart pounding. Come in, his voice called from inside before she could knock. She opened the door slowly. Nathaniel was at his desk, sleeves rolled, his tie undone. The usual sharpness in his posture had softened. Next to his laptop were several printouts, sketches, and sticky notes, most of them in a color she didn't recognize. Then she realized they were hers. He gestured to the seat across from him. "I've been reviewing your notes. You think like someone who's been on the other side of the system." I have," she said, taking the seat. "I want to implement the anonymous forum feature you suggested, for moms afraid to speak openly." Maya nodded. "Good. Some women, especially the younger ones, they'll never raise their hand in public, but they might type if they're alone in the dark and scared." He was quiet for a moment. "You know," he said, "I built my entire company around solving real problems. Renewable energy, sustainable homes, carbon tracking. And still miss the human ones," Maya said gently. Nathaniel smiled. "A small, tired thing." "Yeah, turns out, you can't code your way out of loneliness." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The winter light slanted through the tall window, casting soft lines across the dark desk. Maya studied the papers in front of her, then looked up again. "I'll help," she said. "But I want to be involved, not as a consultant or assistant, as a voice." "You already are." "No," she said, firmer. "You said you wanted to start over. This is how it begins. You don't just ask for insight when it's convenient. You build from trust." He met her eyes. "Deal." Later that evening, Maya stepped into the nursery and found Lily standing in her crib barefoot, cheeks flushed, babbling toward the door as if she'd known Maya was coming. The moment Maya walked in, the little girl reached out both arms. "Hi there," Maya whispered, scooping her up. "Did you miss me, troublemaker?" Lily buried her face in Maya's neck with a tiny sigh. Maya settled with her into the rocking chair by the window. Snow had returned, blanketing the pine trees outside. She rocked slowly, humming the same tune from that first night. Lily was heavier now, sleepier, more at peace. Mrs. Delaney appeared in the doorway minutes later, a steaming mug in hand. "You looked like you needed this," she said, offering the tea. Maya smiled. "You read minds now?" "No, just faces. Yours is easier than you think." They sat in silence while Lily dozed off again. "You're different," Mrs. Delaney said finally, "since you started helping with the app. I'm not just folding laundry anymore. Number your scene. And that's something many of us wait our whole lives for." Maya nodded slowly. "I'm still getting used to it." "You'll never get used to it," Mrs. Delaney said, "but you'll start believing it." That night, as Maya returned to her room, she found something unexpected on her bed. A book, small and cloth, bound. No note, no tag. Just a single blue ribbon tied around it. She opened it. "You deserve to be more than someone who survives." Her fingers paused on the handwritten inscription. It wasn't Rosa's handwriting, and it sure as hell wasn't Mrs. Delaney's bride. She closed the book and sat down on the edge of the bed, heart loud in her chest. Over the next week, things shifted in small, nearly invisible ways. Nathaniel started eating breakfast in the dining room again. Not every day, but more than before. When he passed Maya in the hallway, he didn't look through her. He looked at her. Lily grew more attached, reaching for Maya before anyone else, laughing when she entered the room, refusing food unless Maya sat beside her. Maya tried not to read too far into it, until one night, while going over the app features in the study, Nathaniel asked, "What did you want to be when you were younger?" Maya blinked. "You mean before my life started breaking things?" He didn't smile. "I mean it," he said. She looked at her hands. "A nurse, then maybe a teacher, then neither. I realized early that the world doesn't hand out jobs to people like me, so I learned to mop floors and stitch buttons." "You do more than stitch buttons." Maya raised an eyebrow. "That's supposed to be a compliment?" "Yes." She gave him a small, reluctant smile. "And you?" she asked. "What did you want to be?" Nathaniel hesitated. "A husband," he said finally. "A good one. And a father that didn't feel like a stranger in his own home." Silence filled the room. Maya's voice softened. "You're not a stranger to her. Not anymore." He looked down at the table. "She laughs when you walk in, Nathaniel. That's not nothing." He exhaled. "You call me Nathaniel now." You said we were starting over." He looked up at her, and for the first time since she met him, Maya saw something exposed, unarmored, raw. "I'm trying," he said quietly. She nodded. "So am I." A few nights later, the generator cut out for 2 hours during a snowstorm. Most of the staff had gone home early due to the weather. It was just Maya, Nathaniel, and Lily in the house. Maya found him in the kitchen, barefoot, shirt sleeves rolled, trying to boil water with a camping stove. "You look ridiculous," she said. "I'm aware." She moved beside him, grabbed the second pot. "Let me." He stepped back. "You always know what to do," he said. "No," she replied. "But I always do something. That's the difference." A pause. She cried less this week. "Because you stopped looking at her like a responsibility," Maya said. "You started holding her like she mattered." Nathaniel nodded slowly. "Thank you, Maya." "For what?" "For not leaving." She looked at him, long and level. "I almost did," she said. "Twice." "What stopped you?" She smiled faintly. "She held on to me. Even when I couldn't hold myself." The wind howled outside, the stove hissed, and in the dim light, something between them steadied, not fragile, not forced, just there, quiet, growing. The snowstorm lasted through the weekend. By Monday morning, the world outside the Blake estate was buried under 2 feet of silence. Even the pine trees looked bent, their shoulders sagging beneath the weight of winter. Inside, the house was unusually warm, fireplaces lit, soft jazz echoing faintly through the hallways. Maya stood in the nursery, swaddling Lily after her morning bath, the baby's cheeks rosy from steam and giggles. "You're getting so big," Maya murmured, tucking the blanket beneath Lily's chin. "Soon you'll be bossing all of us around." Lily cooed in reply, her fingers finding Maya's braid and tugging gently. Downstairs, Nathaniel sat at the breakfast table, stirring his coffee but not drinking it. He glanced up every few seconds toward the staircase, as if waiting for something or someone. "Expecting a call?" Mrs. Delaney asked, setting down a plate of toast. "Number just," thinking. She didn't press. Years working for the Blake family had taught her which silences were meant to be left alone. A few minutes later, Maya entered the room with Lily on her hip. Nathaniel stood up too quickly. "You're here," he said. Maya raised an eyebrow. "You invited me for breakfast. Thought it'd be rude to ignore." He gestured to the seat beside him. "Please." She placed Lily into the high chair already waiting between them, then slid into the seat. For a moment, the three of them sat there like any other family, quiet, comfortable, unremarkable. And for Maya, that was the strangest feeling of all. Lily dropped a spoon. Maya bent to pick it up. When she looked up, Nathaniel was watching her not with intensity, but attention. "What?" she asked. "Nothing," he said, though his expression said otherwise. After breakfast, Nathaniel followed Maya to the nursery. She didn't mind. Lily had fallen asleep mid-play, her tiny arms wrapped around a stuffed bear Maya had sewn back together last week. "She's grown fast," he said, glancing at the crib. "Babies do that when they're safe," Maya replied, gently straightening the blanket. Nathaniel leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. "I've been thinking about expanding the app, adding a section for caretakers, nannies, foster parents, even volunteers, people like you." "I'm not like them," Maya said, not looking up. "Most of them get to go home." He paused. "What if this became home?" She turned slowly. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," he hesitated, "you've become more than part of the staff. You're part of this place, of Lily's life, of mine." Maya stood straighter. Her voice was even. "Are you offering me a job or a future?" He blinked, caught off guard. "I'm offering a choice, to stay, not because of obligation, but because you belong here." Maya studied him, her gaze sharp. "You can't say things like that without knowing what they mean." "I do," he said quietly, "and I'm not asking for an answer today." She nodded. "Good, because I don't have one." Later that evening, Maya found herself standing alone in the library. The fire crackled low, casting long shadows across the bookshelves. She wandered between them, fingertips brushing the spines, stopping only when she found the small cloth-bound book from her bed, the one with the ribbon. She opened it again. "You deserve to be more than someone who survives." The handwriting was unmistakably Nathaniel's. She closed the book, held it to her chest. Behind her, the door creaked open. "You left this," his voice said. "I know," Maya replied without turning. He stepped inside, his tone careful. "I wrote it before I was ready to say it out loud. And now? Now I'm trying to be a man who says the right things before it's too late." Maya turned to face him. "I've been in too many rooms where people said the right things, but none of them stayed." "I will," he said, "if you'll let me." Uh, she didn't smile, but something in her shoulders softened. Then stay, she said. But not just when the fire is lit and the room is quiet. Stay when it's cold, when it's messy. When Lily's teething and I'm tired, and your schedule is a mess. I will, he said again. Maya nodded once. That's a start. That night, Lily woke up crying around 2 a.m. Maya was already halfway to the nursery when she heard it, but when she opened the door, Nathaniel was there, cradling Lily in his arms, gently bouncing her, whispering a lullaby Maya had sung 100 times. He didn't see her at first, but when he did, he didn't flinch. He just kept rocking. She wouldn't settle at first, he whispered. Then I remembered your hum. The rhythm. I tried it. I think it worked. Maya walked in slowly, standing beside him. You're doing fine, she said. He looked down at the baby, then back at Maya. So are you. And in the quiet nursery, beneath the sound of the wind outside and the soft breath of a child at peace, Maya realized something terrifying and beautiful. She was no longer waiting to be seen. She already was. T started with laughter. Not loud, not forced, just soft, surprised, and utterly unplanned. Maya was carrying Lily through the hallway when the little girl sneezed so dramatically it startled a nearby cat statue into tipping over. The ancient thing wobbled, teetered, and fell with a thud onto the carpet. Lily burst out laughing, and Maya, after a stunned beat, joined her. Mrs. Delaney poked her head out from the kitchen, eyebrows raised. Was that what I think it was? I think the lion's dead, Maya said, deadpan. The housekeeper's mouth twitched. Well, at least she's happy. She's been smiling more lately, Maya said. Sleeping better too. She's sensing the shift, Mrs. Delaney replied. Babies know, more than most grown-ups do. Maya looked down at Lily, who was now trying to grab her necklace. Yeah, she murmured. She knows. Later that day, Nathaniel knocked on the nursery door. Maya looked up from where she sat on the floor, stacking colored blocks with Lily. You're knocking now? I'm learning, he said, slowly. She smiled faintly. Come in. He stepped inside with 2 mugs in hand. I made coffee. You made coffee, Maya repeated, skeptical. It might be terrible. She took the mug. If I die, Rosa will avenge me. He smiled, settled down beside her, legs folded like it was the most natural thing in the world. Lily beamed and crawled right into his lap. Every time I see her do that, Maya said quietly. I wonder how long she waited to feel that safe. He looked at the baby, now content and tugging at his sleeve. I think I waited just as long. They sat there for a while, all 3 of them, the silence not awkward but warm. The blocks toppled, Lily clapped, and for a moment, the world outside didn't matter. Until it did. It was just after sunset when the phone rang sharp, shrill, demanding. Nathaniel answered in the hallway. Maya could hear his voice, low but tense, though she couldn't make out the words. When he returned, his face was different, closed, controlled. What is it? She asked. He hesitated. Claire's coming. Maya's fingers froze mid-fold over Lily's blanket. Claire? She wants to see Lily. Maya's voice dropped. Why now? I don't know, he said. She didn't say much, just that she's in town and wants to talk. When? Tomorrow. Maya nodded once stiffly. Right. Nathaniel stepped closer. Maya. No, she said. It's fine. She's Lily's mother. I didn't say that to hurt you. You didn't have to, she replied. It's just the truth. That night, Maya didn't sleep. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, the baby monitor beside her bed humming softly. Every so often, she'd glance at it, as if expecting Lily to disappear. In the morning, she dressed Lily in a soft yellow sweater, the one with the embroidered sun on the pocket. She brushed her tiny curls and hummed as she worked, but her fingers shook. Nathaniel found her in the nursery, silent and still, holding Lily longer than usual. You okay? He asked. She looks like her, Maya said. Same eyes. She's not her, he said. No, Maya replied. She's better. The front doorbell rang. Claire Morgan stood in the entryway like a woman out of a magazine, tall, poised, wrapped in a caramel-colored coat, curls perfectly arranged. Her smile was hesitant, almost shy. Hi, she said softly. Nathaniel nodded. Claire. Maya didn't speak. Claire's eyes drifted toward Lily, who clung tightly to Maya's shirt. She's gotten big, Claire whispered. May I? Maya hesitated. Nathaniel stepped forward. Let me. He took Lily carefully from Maya's arms. The baby whimpered, not quite crying, but clearly uneasy. Claire opened her arms, and Nathaniel handed the child over. For a brief moment, it looked like something from a picture, a mother and child, soft light, familiar touch. But then Lily began to cry. A soft whimper at first, then louder, more panicked. Claire tried to soothe her. Shh, it's okay, baby girl. Mommy's here. Lily screamed. Nathaniel stepped in, but it was Maya who moved first. She reached out instinctively. Lily. The baby reached back, trembling, tears running down her face. Maya took her, held her close. Within seconds, the cries quieted into hiccups. Claire stood frozen. She doesn't know me, she said, voice breaking. She knows who stayed, Maya said softly. Nathaniel didn't say anything. Claire turned to him. I shouldn't have come. You wanted to see her. I thought it would feel different, Claire said. But you already have a family. She looked at Maya. I didn't expect you. I didn't expect me either, Maya said, not unkindly. Claire's shoulders dropped. I don't know where I belong anymore. Nathaniel's voice was calm. That's not something I can answer for you. Claire nodded. I'll go. She walked toward the door, then paused. She's happy, Claire said. I didn't think I'd be relieved by that, but I am. And then she was gone. The silence in the foyer was heavy. Maya stood there, Lily still clinging to her. I didn't mean to say that, she whispered. About knowing who stayed. It needed to be said, Nathaniel replied. He stepped closer. She doesn't just need love. She needs consistency. You've been her whole world. Maya looked down at the little girl in her arms. I'm afraid I don't know how to be a mother, she said. Neither do I, he admitted. But maybe we're learning together. Maya glanced up at him. And what are we to each other, Nathaniel? His answer was quiet, firm. We're the people who didn't run. And in that moment, standing in the quiet warmth of the entryway, holding a child who had stopped crying, Maya understood that she wasn't a visitor anymore. She was home. The following morning began with golden sunlight pouring through the frosted windows of the nursery, casting soft halos around the edges of the crib. Lily was still asleep, curled on her side, one chubby fist tucked beneath her cheek, the yellow sweater Maya had chosen yesterday still warm from the night. Maya sat quietly beside her, knees pulled to her chest on the rocking chair, coffee in hand, but it had long gone cold. Downstairs, the house moved with a quiet rhythm. Rosa was humming in the kitchen. Somewhere, Mrs. Delaney was organizing linens like she always did on Thursdays. Nathaniel hadn't come down yet. Or maybe he had, and Maya simply didn't hear. She hadn't left the nursery since Claire walked out that door the day before. She hadn't been able to. Her chest still felt too full, too unsure. Everything Claire had brought with her questions, memories, silence. It still lingered in the corners of the room, like perfume that didn't belong. She brushed a curl off Lily's forehead and whispered, "You okay, sunshine?" Lily shifted, made a soft noise, then returned to sleep. Maya closed her eyes. The silence held. Then a quiet knock on the nursery door. "Yeah?" she said. Nathaniel stepped in, holding 2 fresh mugs of coffee. "This one's not poison," he said. "That's a shame," Maya replied. "Might have needed it." He offered her the mug. She took it but didn't drink right away. He sat on the rug, arms resting on his knees, like he had nowhere more important to be in the world. "You didn't sleep," he said. "I was afraid I'd wake up and she'd be gone." "Oh." Nathaniel looked toward the crib. "She's not." "I know, but my body doesn't." A pause. Then, "Yesterday what you said to Claire, about who stayed." Maya shifted. "I shouldn't have said it in front of Lily." "You were right," Nathaniel said. "That doesn't mean it didn't hurt. She didn't come back to take her," he said. "She came back to see if she still fit, and she realized she didn't." Maya looked down at the rim of her cup. "You okay?" he asked. "I don't know, but I'm still here." That counts for a lot." She looked at him now, fully. His hair was a little tousled, like he hadn't even glanced in a mirror. His shirt was wrinkled. His eyes were soft. "You've changed," she said. He blinked. "How so?" "You used to stand like you owned the room. Now you sit like you want to belong in it." Nathaniel exhaled a small laugh. You make me sound like a stray dog. You were. They both smiled. Then Lily stirred, stretching like a kitten waking from a dream. Her eyes blinked open, searching the room, and when they landed on Maya, her face lit up. Hey there, Maya whispered, standing and leaning over the crib. Lily reached up, and Maya, without hesitation, picked her up and held her tight. Later that afternoon, Nathaniel asked Maya to join a virtual team meeting for the app. She hesitated at first. Sitting in on a call with engineers, designers, and business strategists wasn't exactly what she signed up for, but he insisted. They need a perspective they don't have, he said. You bring that. Maya sat beside him at his desk, still holding Lily, who gnawed contentedly on a rubber giraffe. On the screen, 6 squares lit up young professionals in sleek glasses and polished backgrounds. They looked like they lived in cities where coffee cost $8 and time was currency. Maya, Nathaniel said, addressing the team, has agreed to help us shape the community section. She'll be leading user insights. There was a pause. Then a woman named Carly said, You're the one who suggested anonymous forums, right? That's been our most requested feature since soft launch. Maya blinked. Yes, I guess that was me. Another voice chimed in. The way you framed it, that moms don't always have time or mental bandwidth to type long posts. That sometimes they just need to press a button and feel seen, that really helped us rework the interface. Maya blinked again. I just said what I wish I'd had. The call continued. More technical now, but Maya stayed. She took notes, she asked questions, and when it ended, Nathaniel turned to her. Well, that was terrifying, she said. But also, it felt like I mattered. You do, he said. That night, Nathaniel cooked dinner, or tried to. Maya entered the kitchen to the smell of something burning, and the sight of him fanning smoke away from the stove. Is that supposed to be lasagna? She asked. No, he said quickly. It's a learning experience. She laughed. Move over. Together, they salvaged what they could. Maya added seasoning. Nathaniel opened a bottle of wine. Lily sat in her high chair nibbling on bits of toast, watching them like they were a sitcom. After dinner, they sat around the fireplace. Maya rocked Lily in her arms, her breathing already slowing. Nathaniel handed her a blanket. She feels safe here, Maya said. She's not the only one, he replied. Maya looked up. I want this to last, he said. Not just the app. Not just the way Lily stopped crying at night. I want this life to mean something. She hesitated. And if I told you I don't trust permanence? I'd say I don't either, but I trust you, and I trust that we're not where we were. That has to be enough for now. Maya looked down at the sleeping baby in her arms, then back up at the man in front of her. It might be. Nathaniel nodded slowly. Good. Maya leaned back, the warmth of the fire curling around her like a slow breath. In her chest, something quiet unknotted. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't surviving. She was beginning. Spring arrived early that year. The snow melted fast, revealing soft grass beneath the pines and crooked stone paths long buried in white. The windows of the Blake estate no longer wept frost. Instead, they opened. The house began to breathe again. So did Maya. Each morning, sunlight spilled into the nursery like a promise. Lily woke happier, louder, more curious. Her giggles bounced off the walls. She'd begun walking half steps, uncertain but determined always toward Maya. Nathaniel started coming home earlier, sometimes with paper bags full of groceries or forgotten hardware for the crib. He wasn't the same man who'd once shouted across the living room like Maya was an intruder. That man had vanished somewhere between late-night lullabies and shared silence. One Thursday afternoon, Maya stood at the laundry line in the garden, pinning up Lily's tiny sweaters. The air smelled of soil and daffodils. A radio played faintly from the kitchen Motown, the kind Rosa liked. Maya swayed slightly as she worked, humming along, the clothes fluttering like little flags. Maya, Nathaniel's voice called from behind her. She turned, squinting against the sun. I need your eyes on something. He stood on the back patio, barefoot, sleeves rolled to his elbows, holding a tablet in one hand and a bottle of juice in the other. Juice for the boss, he added, holding it up. She laughed. Lily or me? You. Lily already bit me once today. I've learned my lesson. Maya followed him inside to the study. On the desk, a mock-up of the app's new home screen was open. He angled it toward her. We're thinking of highlighting real stories anonymous, of course. Mothers, caretakers, people who got through it. Maya studied it. Is there a way to let them leave voice notes? Nathaniel looked surprised. Why? Because sometimes it's easier to speak than write, especially if you're crying. He stared at her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. I'll have the dev team work on that. They sat together on the leather couch while Lily crawled around them on the carpet, babbling to a stuffed giraffe. Maya sipped her juice, barefoot, legs curled beneath her. Do you ever think, Nathaniel began, that we stumbled into this? This? This us, her, the app, all of it. I think the world gave us a second chance, Maya said. The first one we both wasted. He tilted his head. How'd you waste yours? I stopped believing in people. Nathaniel's voice dropped. Me too. A pause. But you didn't stop believing in her, she said, nodding to Lily. He looked at the child on the floor. I just didn't know how to show it. You do now. He turned back to Maya. Because of you. Maya looked down into her cup. You say things like that, then I have to go back to my room and remember how to breathe. I'm working on that part too, he said with a soft smile. Making sure you don't have to go back to your room alone. She blinked. He added quickly, not the way that sounded. You don't have to retreat when you feel something, not from me. Maya said nothing, but her hand, resting near his on the couch, drifted a fraction closer, close enough that their fingers nearly touched. Later that evening, Maya walked Lily around the garden in a sling while the baby hummed nonsense against her shoulder. The air was cool, gentle. In the distance, the wind danced through the pines. Mrs. Delaney watched from the porch, arms crossed loosely. When Maya approached, she nodded toward the house. I saw the mock-ups. Nathaniel showed me. Oh? Maya asked, shifting Lily's weight. They're good, real. I've seen a lot of projects start in that study. None of them ever felt this human. Maya smiled. He's different now. Mrs. Delaney snorted. He's in love. Maya nearly tripped. What? Oh, don't play dumb. I've worked in this house long enough to know the look. I don't know what you're talking about, Maya said quickly. Then let me put it this way, Mrs. Delaney said. He only uses the good coffee mugs when you're in the room. You don't waste ceramic that costs $70 a piece unless you're trying to impress someone. Maya opened her mouth, closed it, shook her head. I'm just trying to do right by Lily. Of course, the older woman said. But don't pretend like love's not blooming around here faster than the flowers. That night, after dinner, Nathaniel walked Maya to her room. Lily had already fallen asleep in her crib. The hallway was quiet, lit only by the amber glow of the wall sconces. They paused at her door. I'm flying to New York next week, he said. Meeting investors. They want updates on the app. Maya nodded. Will you be gone long? 3 days. Lily won't like that. I won't either, he said. Then, after a pause, would you come with us? Maya blinked. What? Just for the trip. You'd be in the meetings, as the voice of the users. And with Lily, of course. I don't have a suit, she said automatically. I'll buy you one. I don't have experience. You've lived the experience. She hesitated. That's a lot of change. He nodded. It is, but not all change is loss, Maya. She looked at him, really looked. The man who once shouted at her for daring to touch what he loved now stood before her, asking her to carry it forward with him. I'll think about it, she said. He leaned slightly forward, not too close, just enough. I'll wait. And with that, he turned and walked down the hall. Maya stepped into her room, shut the door, and stood in the silence. Her heart was pounding, but for the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of what came next. The private jet hummed gently beneath them, like a lullaby wrapped in steel. Maya sat across from Nathaniel in the cream leather cabin, the soft overhead lighting casting a warm glow. Lily was curled up in Maya's lap, thumb tucked in her mouth, her curls haloed by a tiny travel pillow shaped like a giraffe. Nathaniel hadn't said much since takeoff. He kept glancing over, watching Maya as she stroked Lily's back, calm and steady, like she'd done it for years. There was something in the way Maya existed with quiet command, not needing permission to be tender. "You okay?" he finally asked. She nodded, just taking it all in. "Your first time flying?" She gave a soft laugh. "First time flying private. First time flying with a billionaire. First time flying anywhere I wasn't escaping from something." Nathaniel studied her. "This time you're heading towards something." Maya didn't reply. She just looked down at Lily and kissed the top of her head. In New York, the hotel suite was nothing short of absurd glass walls, a piano no one played, a kitchen larger than most apartments. Maya stood frozen in the center of it, Lily now awake in her arms, looking just as stunned. "I don't know what to touch," Maya whispered. Nathaniel chuckled. "That's okay. Everything here's insured." Lily pointed to the piano. "Wawa?" "She thinks every piano is a water fountain," Maya said. "The keys look like tiles." Nathaniel knelt beside them. "Let's teach her the difference then." He lifted Lily up to the piano bench, sat her in his lap, and began playing a soft melody, halting, unsure. Maya stepped back and watched the two of them, the way Lily leaned against his chest, how his eyes never left her face. The song wasn't perfect, but the moment was. Later that night, after Lily had fallen asleep in the crib set up in the master bedroom, Maya stepped onto the balcony. The city below blinked and buzzed, a living ocean of movement. She hugged her cardigan tighter around her. Nathaniel joined her quietly, 2 glasses of tea in hand. "I thought you didn't drink," she said. "Still don't. It's chamomile." He handed her a glass. They stood in silence for a few moments, watching headlights snake through the streets. "Did I tell you why I started the app?" he asked suddenly. Maya shook her head. "My wife Lily's mom was diagnosed late, very late. She'd been depressed for over a year, but we didn't see it. I was too busy flying around making money. Thought I was doing it for them." Maya stayed quiet, letting him speak. "She left us one morning, walked out before sunrise and never came back. They found her body 2 days later, near a lake." He sipped his tea. "I kept thinking, if we'd had something like this, something anonymous where she could have spoken without shame, maybe she'd still be here." "I'm sorry," Maya said. She was kind in a way that scared people, because when someone sees you that deeply, you either open up or run. He turned to her. "You remind me of her, not in appearance, in heart." Maya's breath caught. "I don't say that lightly," he added. "But watching you with Lily, watching you care for someone that isn't yours, like she's blood that's not ordinary." "She is mine," Maya said softly. "Not by blood, maybe, but by everything else." He smiled. "I think she'd say the same." They stood there a little longer. Then Nathaniel looked down at the street and said, "You ever think about what you want? I mean, really want?" "I used to," she said. "Then life taught me not to." "Well," he said, "maybe it's time you start again." The next morning, Maya sat at a polished conference table in a glass tower high above the streets. Her hands trembled slightly in her lap. Around her sat men and women in suits, all sharp collars and sharper tongues. Nathaniel sat at the head of the table. "Before we talk numbers," he began, "I want to introduce someone." All eyes turned. "This is Maya Williams. She's the reason this app has meaning." Maya's heart thudded. She didn't come from Silicon Valley. She didn't study code. She didn't intern with Google. But she knows something most of us forgot: how it feels to be invisible, and how powerful it is when someone finally sees you. He turned to her. "Maya?" She stood slowly. Her voice wavered at first. "I used to think survival was the goal," she began. "That if you could get through the day without crying or breaking or begging, you were doing okay." She looked at them, these people with their pens and spreadsheets. "But surviving isn't living, and most of the people you want to reach with this app, they're not living. They're enduring. What they need isn't more features, it's more humanity." She sat down. The room was silent. Then someone clapped. Then another. And soon the whole table was applauding. After the meeting, Nathaniel walked beside her in the hallway. "You just closed the deal," he said. "I thought that was your job." "It was. Until now." He paused. "I don't want you to be the nanny anymore." Maya stopped walking. "What?" "I want you to be head of community development. Full salary, full benefits, your own team." She blinked. "You're serious?" "As a heart attack. I've never even run an office. You've run a household. You've managed crises. You've spoken truth to power. That's more than most CEOs can say. He stepped closer. I see you, Maya. All of you. She swallowed hard. And if you say yes, this city will see you too. Maya looked out at the skyline through the massive windows. New York had always been the place where dreams were too expensive for girls like her. But maybe not anymore. Okay, she said quietly, and for the first time in her life, the word okay felt like the start of everything. The office door clicked shut behind her. Maya stood in the center of her new workspace, a corner suite wrapped in floor-to-ceiling glass. The view stretched across Manhattan, glittering in the late afternoon sun. A leather chair, a wide walnut desk, a nameplate already engraved, Maya Williams, Head of Community Development. She sat slowly, hands hovering over the desk's polished surface. Just days ago, she'd been folding laundry in a stranger's mansion, sleeping on the floor beside a toddler. Now, she had an office bigger than the apartment she grew up in. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Come in, she said. Nathaniel stepped in, holding 2 coffees. You still drink it with a splash of oat milk? Maya smiled. You remembered. He handed her the cup. You start tomorrow, officially, but I wanted you to see it first. It's yours now. She turned back toward the window. It doesn't feel real. Give it time, he said. You'll be running this building by fall. Maya chuckled. Let me learn the printer first. He laughed, but his tone softened. You earned this, Maya. Don't ever doubt that. I'm trying not to, she whispered. The next morning, Maya arrived early. She wore a simple navy dress and flats, her hair pulled into a neat bun. Lily had cried when she left the hotel room only for a moment, but it had pierced her heart like a shard of glass. Nathaniel had kissed Lily's cheek and told her Mommy Maya would be back soon. The words had stayed with her all day. At 8 a.m. sharp, her new assistant, Carla, walked in. Good morning, Miss Williams, she said briskly. Here's your schedule. First meetings at 9, then a walkthrough with legal, then press. Maya blinked. Press? Carla smiled. You're the heart of the story. Everyone wants to meet the woman behind the app. Okay. Maya took a breath. Let's do it. The morning flew by. At the 9 a.m. meeting, she spoke about expanding community outreach, creating a platform for unheard voices, building trust before building tech. The room nodded, took notes. At noon, she met with legal, discussing policies to protect vulnerable users. By 1 p.m., she hadn't eaten, but she felt electrified. And then came the press. A soft-spoken woman with a notepad and sharp eyes sat across from her in the lounge. Miss Williams, she said, can you tell me what this opportunity means to you? Maya hesitated, then leaned forward. I've been invisible for most of my life, she said. Poor, homeless, cleaning homes for people who wouldn't look me in the eye. So this, she gestured to the office, this isn't just a job, it's a second chance, maybe a first. And what do you hope to do with it? I want to build something that reaches people like the girl I used to be, Maya said. People who've been dismissed, forgotten, abused. I want them to know their stories matter, that someone's listening. The reporter nodded, her eyes glistening. Thank you, she whispered. That night, Maya returned to the hotel exhausted. She opened the door quietly, but Lily's voice rang out from the other room. Maya. The little girl came running barefoot, arms wide, crashing into Maya's legs. Hey baby, Maya whispered, lifting her. Did you have fun today? Lily nodded. Daddy made pancakes, but I missed you. Maya kissed her cheek. I missed you more. Nathaniel appeared in the doorway, holding a pan with a smile. There's one left, if you're lucky. Maya laughed. Starving. Over dinner, they talked like a family. Nathaniel asked about her meetings. Lily interrupted with stories about cartoons and crayons. Maya listened, spoke, smiled, and something inside her ached with how natural it felt. After Lily fell asleep, Maya lingered in the kitchen, rinsing dishes. You don't have to do that, Nathaniel said. She shrugged. Habit. He leaned against the counter. How was your first day? Incredible. Overwhelming. Empowering. All of it. I'm proud of you. She looked up, startled. Thank you, she said quietly. That means more than you know. He stepped closer. You changed everything, Maya. For Lily. For this company. For me. She didn't answer, but their eyes locked. and something passed between them, wordless, undeniable. A week later, Maya sat in her office when Carla knocked. "Miss Williams, there's a visitor." "Who?" Carla stepped aside, revealing a tall, well-dressed woman in her 50s. "Maya," the woman said. Maya stood, her heart freezing. "Mom?" The woman walked in, eyes darting around. "You work here? This is yours?" Maya nodded slowly. "Why are you here?" "I saw you on the news," her mother said. "They said you were helping people. That you built something big." "I didn't build it alone," Maya said. "But yes," her mother stepped closer. "I came to say I'm proud, and to ask, if we can talk, start again." Maya's chest tightened. "You threw me out when I was 16. I was scared. You were stubborn. We both made mistakes." Maya glanced at the photo on her desk, Lily grinning in her lap. "I can't rewrite the past, but maybe we can write something new." A long silence followed. Then Maya nodded. "We can talk," she said. Her mother smiled, eyes misting. "Thank you." After she left, Maya sat at her desk, trembling. Nathaniel called minutes later. "You okay?" he asked. "I think so. Want company?" She paused. "Come pick me up." That evening, the three of them, Maya, Nathaniel, and Lily, walked through Central Park. The trees were glowing with fairy lights strung for the spring festival. Maya held Lily's hand in one, Nathaniel's in the other. "You know," he said, "I never imagined any of this when I hired a nanny." She laughed. "And I never imagined falling in love with a billionaire." His smile faded. "Are you?" She looked at him, heart thudding. "I think I already have," she said. He stopped walking. Then he leaned in, gently, and kissed her forehead. "I have too," he said. And in that soft golden light, with the world still spinning around them, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in years home. The morning air carried the smell of fresh bagels and blooming tulips. As Maya stepped out of the black SUV and walked toward the gleaming glass entrance of Grayson Industries, she held Lily's small hand tightly in hers. The child wore a yellow sundress and sneakers, her backpack bouncing with each step. "Remember what I said?" Maya asked, kneeling to her eye level. Lily nodded. "I'll stay with Miss Carla until you're done with your meetings. No wandering, no snacks from strangers, no yelling unless it's an emergency." Maya smiled, brushing a curl from Lily's forehead. "That's my girl." Nathaniel watched from a few steps back, sipping his coffee, trying to appear calm. But the circles under his eyes betrayed him. "She still didn't sleep?" Maya asked. He shook his head. "Cried until 3. Woke up every hour asking where you were." Maya's heart twisted. "She's been through too much change." Nathaniel's voice dropped. "So have you." Their eyes met. He looked like he wanted to say more, but Carla appeared at the door, waving. "Miss Williams, they're all waiting in conference room B." Maya gave Lily one last hug, then stood tall. "Let's go make a difference." Inside, the air was cooler, sterile, but buzzing with anticipation. Today was the launch of the Unity Project, a tech initiative Maya had designed to connect marginalized communities with essential services through AI-driven accessibility tools. It was personal. It was powerful. It was hers. The boardroom was full. Executives, journalists, investors, and somewhere near the back, Jeffrey Klein, head of acquisitions, the man who once laughed when she walked into the mansion in hand-me-down shoes. Maya stepped to the front, adjusted the mic, and smiled. "Good morning. I'm Maya Williams. Some of you know me as the former maid, the miracle nanny, or the woman who stole a billionaire's car to save a child's life." The room chuckled lightly, unsure if she was serious. "I know who I am," she continued, voice steady. "I'm someone who saw how broken the system was, who heard the cries of people who were told to sit down and stay silent. And I'm not here to fit in. I'm here to build a new table." She clicked the remote. A slide appeared behind her, 2 photos side by side. On the left, a food pantry line stretching for blocks. On the right, a homeless man helping a child read. "We don't lack intelligence. We lack access. We don't lack kindness. We lack connection, and Unity will change that." The presentation lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, the room stood in applause, some genuine, some performative. But it didn't matter. Maya had planted her flag. As the crowd dispersed, Nathaniel approached. "You crushed it," he said. Maya exhaled, her hands still trembling. I was shaking the whole time. He grinned. No one saw that. They saw a leader. They walked back to her office together. Carla met them at the door, eyes wide. "Miss Williams, we have a situation." Maya tensed. "What kind of situation?" "It's Lily. She's missing." Maya's world tilted. "What?" She was coloring beside my desk. I turned to answer a call. When I looked again, she was gone. Maya was already moving. "Check every floor, every hallway, every exit." Nathaniel pulled out his phone. "I'm calling building security. Have them lock all doors now." Panic clawed at her throat. Not again. Not Lily. The next hour passed in a blur of running feet, radio crackles, and shouted names. Maya checked every restroom, every lounge, every corner of every floor. No sign. Then a voice on the security radio crackled through. "We found her. Rooftop. She's with someone." Maya bolted for the elevator. The door opened to the rooftop garden, usually off limits. Wind whipped through her curls as she sprinted toward the benches. There, by the railing, stood Lily. And kneeling beside her was Jeffrey Klein. Maya's heart stopped. "Lily." The girl turned, startled but unharmed. Jeffrey stood, hands raised. "She found her way up here. I swear, I just sat with her." Maya rushed forward, scooped Lily into her arms. "Baby, are you okay?" "I wanted to see the flowers," Lily whispered. "Like at the park." Maya held her tight, glaring at Jeffrey. "Don't ever get near her again." He raised his hands. "I didn't touch her. I was waiting with her until someone came." Nathaniel appeared behind them, eyes burning. "If I ever see you speak to my daughter again, you won't just be fired, you'll be erased." Jeffrey backed away. Message received. Later, back in the hotel, Maya sat beside Lily on the bed, brushing her hair gently. "I scared you," Lily whispered. Maya nodded. "A lot, but I'm glad you're safe." Lily looked up. "You're not mad?" "I was scared, not mad. But promise me you'll never run off like that again." "I promise." That night, after Lily was asleep, Maya stood by the window. Nathaniel joined her, placing a hand on her back. "She's okay," he said. Maya nodded. "I know, but something's off." He looked at her. "What do you mean?" "That man Jeffrey, he didn't just find her. The rooftop is locked. You need a code." Nathaniel's jaw tightened. "You think he took her there?" "I don't know, but I don't trust him. And I think he's not done." A long silence settled between them. Then Maya spoke again. "We need to be ready. He's not the only threat in this building." Nathaniel nodded. "Whatever happens, we face it together." And in that quiet, with the city glowing beneath them and danger stirring just beyond their reach, the alliance between them hardened into something deeper than loyalty. It became unbreakable. The next morning began too quiet. Maya stirred awake in the hotel suite's second bedroom, still wearing the sweatshirt Nathaniel had draped over her shoulders the night before. The digital clock on the nightstand blinked 6:32 a.m. The sky outside was still a slate gray, not yet awake. But her mind was racing. She sat up, immediately scanning the room. Lily was curled beside her, small and peaceful, one hand gripping Maya's shirt like a lifeline. Her tiny chest rose and fell in steady rhythm. Safe. For now. Maya gently slipped away and padded into the main room where Nathaniel sat on the couch, coffee in hand, suit half-buttoned. He didn't look up. "I called the building manager," he said. "The rooftop keypad was tampered with." Maya stopped cold. "Tampered how?" "By someone who knew the override code." He looked at her now, his jaw clenched. "Someone on the inside." She folded her arms across her chest. "Jeffrey." Nathaniel didn't argue. "I already spoke to HR," he said. "They're opening an investigation, but without hard proof. Hard proof won't show up in polite meetings." Maya's voice was low, certain. "He knew the access code. That's not an accident." "Ugh." Nathaniel sighed, rubbing his temples. "You're right. But this company's full of politics, Maya. Firing someone like Jeffrey Klein without concrete evidence could mean lawsuits, board fights." Maya stepped closer. "You're the CEO." "I wasn't always," he said. "And some of those men were building empires while I was still bagging groceries in Baton Rouge." Maya blinked. "You?" He gave a small laugh. "Yeah. My mom raised me and my sister by herself. We ate in shifts. I know what it's like to be underestimated. That's why I created Unity. For people like us." Her voice softened. So don't let someone like Jeffrey poison it. He looked at her, really looked. Then help me. With what? Get close to him. Find out what he's hiding. Off the record. I'll get legal involved quietly. But if he's planning something, anything we need to know before it lands in the press. Maya crossed her arms. You want me to spy on him? Number. I want you to